Somebody want to tweet?
As soon as we're live.
Yeah, we should be. We should
Alright.
be there.
Let's finish this stitch. I shall check the Twitches.
Momentarily.
Come here, Twitch.
I did put the right. I am streaming instead of going to my channel, I believe. I believe I had updated it. Yes, I did. Good job, Jen. You did the thing. You did a thing. It's so exciting when you do a thing. Okay. Oh, I'm not logged in as the Jen. No wonder. It's like freaking out at me right now. Calm down.
I'm still showing the mic.
Reset your browser.
God damn
Twitch
it.
has gotten really bad. It's real sticky now. You have to actually go out and
Get out. That's bullshit right
I
there.
agree.
Oh no, it's doing... Never mind.
Oh my god, is my box?
I was on his
My box is
channel.
in a weird
That
place.
was the actual fucking problem.
I'm going to talk about my box because apparently that's all I do. I was on Curly's podcast and all I did was talk about how good things
Talk
come in my
about your
box. Because I was talking about loot crates and somebody was talking shit about super thin t-shirts and I was like, no, I get all kinds of great stuff in my box. There's so many good things that come out of my box like over and over again.
Oh,
not
my
realizing
God.
that I'm being enticed by the chat room to continue talking about my box. It was great. It was real classy.
We are tweeted.
We are tweeted. I twittered. Did you Twitter?
I will...
There we go. We are live.
And
Yay.
who couldn't... Live now.
Why does it say them?
What?
Oh, for some reason mine is being weird and doing weird captions. I don't know why I was doing that. It's just mine. Don't worry about it. Nothing's wrong. Just
Why
mine.
is it saying your name on the screen? I need it to not do that. Don't stop telling me that.
It's because you keep putting your
Oh,
mouse.
I
Yeah,
said
if you
too.
move your mouse away, it'll
It'll go
hide
away
it.
eventually.
Don't
It'll
stop
go away.
doing that. What the fuck is that?
Oh, there it
Yeah, there you
goes. Okay, I just can't ever put my mouse there. Got it.
Yeah,
It's
basically.
a good thing I have the Stream Deck because that's where I have to move my mouse to go to that screen.
Okay. No, I don't know what this captioning is either. I've got weird shit over
You
our
just-
screen.
yeah.
showing-
You have to
So
click
Skype
on
has
the
a
CC
yeah.
Yeah.
to turn it off.
Oh boy.
Only has a bit on the date. The level of discussion is either the weird ship overruns on your door, yet decided on the east now in a terminal. What does that even mean? Okay, but everyone in Twitch doesn't see that, right? Like,
Right.
Only-
So subtitling is
yeah.
a new Skype feature that they added recently. So it's only showing up on your local client, but it is trying to transcribe in realish time what everybody's saying.
all right, but
And I'm
it's
sure it does
showing-
a super good
but
job.
It's showing
So the option for it is
on
under
my
the
Twitch on a completely different machine. Because like I'm Skyping on my PC and I'm watching the Twitch on a Mac.
it
I bel-
also looks like Twitch has a captioning system. too.
Yeah,
I
so
think
you
Twitch
can-
is also doing that.
You just there's a little thing on the actual video if you put your cursor over it where it says CC,
Yeah.
you just
Okay, I
turn
see
it
it.
off. Yeah. I was
That must be
confused
new.
about
I've never
that.
seen that.
All right, it's a good accessibility issue, but it's really weird to automatically turn it on.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder
Not
if it's
deaf.
because you guys are on talk shows, because it was it wasn't defaulted on for me, but I don't think I've even seen the option before.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're giving it a try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really wanted to make a dumb your mom joke because that's all my brain does now. It's terrible.
Don't do that.
What?
Like, be careful with that.
Oh, it's
because,
really
like,
bad,
last week in my
'cause-
D&D chat, somebody made a
no.
your mom joke, and Bruce's mom is dead.
Oh, it's worse because
So that was really, really bad. And I had to like privately message Rick. I'm like, Rick, Bruce's mom he's not kidding. His mom is dead. Like, he's the only survivor of a house fire. And
so
I didn't know. Oh my God, I'm going to buy him all the beer.
the man friend has his mother's remains in the closet right now. It's very, very traumatizing when I make your mom jokes because he likes to give me a hard time and I feel terrible. And of course he like barely cares. He's like, no, like that's what it is. But he just likes making me feel really terrible. And then I'll say things like, I hate that your mom is dead. And he's like, me too. Why? Why do you do this to me?
Not making it better.
Mm-mm. Not at all. And apparently that I'm going to have a dog barking today. Today I'm going to have this cat crying. Why is a cat crying? What is going on? What is happening in the world? What is happening in the world today? What am I doing?
My cat's in my extra office chair off to the side, just napping, curled up in a little ball.
Look, I got visual aids for our podcast. Isn't that great?
Ah.
For our audio listeners.
I like
You just
crinkle.
have to imagine. ASMR.
This is what
For all the
Uh,
crinkles.
boxing board comics sound like, everyone.
Do. Boopity boopity boop.
Only half an hour. Yay.
Why are you
Go.
crying? Well, to be fair, like I said, I was
Van, don't
racing
cry.
from a freaking car dealership, so we gotta do sometimes. It's been a little crazy in the world right now. Was not prepared to be a taxi driver this week. Nor did the person who I was taxiing around want to be driven around, so it's been real fun. Cool. I think I'm good. Everybody good? Everybody feeling good? I'm feeling fantastic.
Feeling good.
Good.
We.
Good.
I'm gonna finish this sleeve before we even get halfway through. It's gonna be
Oh my
awesome.
gosh, you're gonna have a whole sleeve.
A whole sleeve.
A whole
to go with the
sleeve.
other sleeve and my top of my cosplay. Hooray.
Sick.
And this is about an hour? Is that right?
Yeah, about an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly
Okay.
correct. I have a driving shift, so that's why I had to change things up. And I apologize. They just don't really give us a lot of flexibility. They're like, "Hey, we're doing bonuses."
Sure.
Oh,
no worries.
I guess. And since I like to eat, I was thinking about like food and like survival is like a thing I'm super into these days. Kind of weird, but you know, that's just
Yeah.
me.
You a freak for this one, Jen.
I'd have so much more money to do activities if I could get rid of that annoying habit of eating.
Yeah.
You know?
God, if only. I just, you know, what, honestly, I always wonder about that. Like, if you could just like take a pill and like that would be your food, if I would be satisfied with that. And sometimes I really think I would. Cool. I'm gonna try to use the correct sounders number. If they don't come through, I apologize, but they should be. For everything I can tell on my side, it should be working correctly. To the best of my
They
knowledge.
don't. I'll have to fix it in post.
Exactly. We'll do it live. I'm going to turn off my notifications on my Google Hangouts because this happens every time.
I did not pimp us in the DCTV thing.
I put it in everywhere.
Okay. I'm hearing an echo. Why am I?
I do not
Okay.
know. You're hearing an echo?
Well, it's not an echo.
Echo.
It's like someone's stream is coming through their mic after.
Mm,
It might be on your internal.
No one else
'cause-
hears that?
Nope.
Nope.
Nobody else.
no.
At least not on my side, I don't think.
I hear all of you. Okay.
How late is the echo? Is it like a half second or a couple seconds?
You just said like a half second, so a couple seconds. It's about the same as the stream delay.
So you might have an errant window open somewhere.
Yeah, it sounds like
Look
it.
at. Let me check. Ah, I got it.
Hooray. Okay.
Yay.
The Twitch app was open on the PC.
Sweet. Do. All my stuff is off. Why am I singing on the internet again? Stop it. Okay. This is how it
So I can
happens.
steal it and
That's-
embarrass you.
Yeah,
It's my hobby.
for later. The pants line in the promo makes me laugh so hard every time. I'm like, what was I even talking about?
I don't know, but I was excited about it.
I know. Big Boy's did an amazing job. Like the,
No,
the
they're really
work
good.
that he went to find old shit and throw in there is great.
I really like the promo. It makes me smile every time I listen to it. It makes me laugh. I mean, the Gen ones are pretty good too. All right, we're gonna start a show. Heyo!
Showtime.
Oh, yay! I haven't hosted in a while. Well, I haven't hosted with all of us in a while. Like I'm all confused right now.
Games, gear, grills. Welcome to the Geek Grills Podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 128 of Geek Grills. The Geek Grills podcast is supported primarily by our patrons. You can become a patron today at www.patreon.com/grills. I am the Jen, and I am joined by my co-host, Linda.
Hi there.
Also known as True Noob. I'm going to start saying that now.
Okay.
In September, also known as 9 of 12.
Howdy, howdy.
And today we also have a special guest, Mr. Bryce Castillo, who is a producer, occasional co-host, and I don't know, composer, orchestrator, actual adult, etc. Of Night Attack. Is that
Right.
appropriate?
Yeah, that's a pretty realistic description. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And also, I should mention the host of Trending Lemon.
That's right.
And that that was the podcast I was recently on and chatting about being on recently. So we now have him on our show. Yes.
Hey, look at that. No, that was great. It was great having you on.
It was super silly.
Yeah.
It's really fun. It's really fun. So trendinglemon.com is where you find Trending Lemon for those of you that are not familiar with it. And then Night Attack is nightattack.tv. And that is a Tuesday night fun time. So if you're not doing that, you should be.
Yeah.
It will change your life in good and bad ways.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Absolutely. So what have you all been up to? Linda, what have you been doing?
Well, I had a concert on Sunday because I'm in a symphonic wind band. So it's all, it's band, no strings kind of thing. If you want to know the difference between like an orchestra and a wind band, it's not just woodwind instruments. I think somebody got confused one time when they asked me about it.
So like
we did
flutes and also like
trumpets,
clarinets and
flutes, clarinets, trumpets,
trombones, anything that you
so-
blow into.
Yes.
I'm gonna be
Blow
careful
it.
about how I
Brass.
say that.
No.
Brass along with woodwind.
Yes.
Got it.
But we basically had our first concert, whatever concert it is. It's been a very long week, of the season, and we were doing basically music from the movies. So I had a good time with that.
Oh.
It was fun music to play. I've been working on crocheting my cosplay. I'm still working on Pink Diamond. I've actually got
so
one of the
excited.
sleeves,
I'm so excited.
Look at that sleeve.
poofy sleeve
Aw.
over.
It's gonna be
And then-
fluffy.
This is where the fluffy bump.
I know, it was coming.
He's so fluffy, I'm gonna die.
No, I'm super excited. That character, I'm recently rewatching to get caught up. I'm like 5 episodes behind right now. But all the stuff in the last like 10 or 12 episodes of Steven Universe is like earth-shattering and emotional, and I have to do like 1 episode a day right now to catch up to
Wow.
then rewatch it. It really hits me like in a deep, deep place. But yeah, the Pink Diamond cosplay is going to be awesome.
Yes. It's going to be very comfortable. I've been doing a lot of prep work for my next LARP character that I'm bringing in because I just retired my old one at the game that's coming up in a couple of weeks. So I've got a brand new one coming in, and I've got to make all of her stuff and make sure all the things are in getting ducks in a row. And I'm like, I got to finish the quiver because she's an archer, so I have to make sure all of my boffer arrows are safe for humans.
Please don't hurt anybody in the pretend fighting.
Yeah. But I've got most of her costuming like done. I just need like one more kind of good western-y looking vest, and I should be good to go. That means a trip to Goodwill. So yay, Goodwill. I get super lucky every now and then at Goodwill. Like I've gone obviously and never not found anything, but I've also gone and found like a giant bag of yarn for like $20. There was like hundreds of dollars of yarn in this bag, and I was just like, $20, mine. So just every once in a while I'll get super lucky.
I love Goodwill. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the best for any costuming whatsoever. It's always the first place to go.
Yeah. And then I've been having this week lot of car shenanigans.
No, everybody with the car shenanigans.
So
No.
I went on Monday to the place that I it specializes in like Hondas and Kias and foreign imports. And I was like, okay, I need an oil change, so I'm going to get my oil changed. And also, for some reason, my tire pressure light has come on, and I don't know why. The tires are fine. I have a little pressure gauge that I check it myself, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to have him like run the codes because they'll do that for free.
Yeah.
To see what's going on with the tire pressure gauge, because it might just be broken. And I'm
Hopefully.
sitting there, and they do the oil change, and he comes in, and he's like, well, your car is not really throwing any codes for your tires. I think just the light is coming on for no reason, but it is throwing a code for your catalytic converter. And I was like, you don't say. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, my birthday is on Thursday, and I have to go get my tag. He was like, you're gonna fail your emissions if you go right now. And I was like, God, son of a bitch.
Was your engine light on?
Nope.
Just the pressure gauge? That's so
Just
weird.
So
tires.
So weird.
So, so I was like, okay, fine. So we go back and forth a little bit on like what's it gonna cost and all that stuff. Like, I knew eventually I was gonna have to replace it because about 5 years ago, almost exactly 5 years ago, my original catalytic converter on that car got stolen because it's a CRV and it's very easy to steal them off of a CRV. Come to find out, it was so easy, in fact, that the place that I went to get it replaced had them in stock because it happens so often.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Oh, jeez.
So I get home Monday from the car place. We're like, okay, fine. We place an order for the catalytic converter. It gets delivered Tuesday. Also, I'm going to have words with that company because it wasn't in a box. They just left a catalytic converter with a sticker on it on our front porch.
Hey, random human who would like to steal a random car part is right here, like on our porch, though.
I was like, really, guys? I called him back Wednesday to see. No, I called them Tuesday because we knew the part was coming in. If they could do get the catalytic converter changed out on Wednesday. They said the first time they had was Thursday at 11. I'm in the middle of training at a new job, so I can't get any time off right now. And my husband can't get any time off either because a lot of bullshit's going on at his work.
Because life.
Because life. So we drop my car off Wednesday. He takes me to work this morning. His parents go and pick up the car for us because, oh, by the way, I can't get my emissions tested until the car's been driven for 30 miles.
Right.
So
it's so weird that they told you that it would fail if the light wasn't even on. Like, because I had a very similar thing recently where they're like, what was the issue that I had? There was some issue with the car, and they're like, well, you got the light on, and so unless you fix it, we're not going to be able to.
See, I've had that
pass
problem
you.
because my light stays on for my tires on a lot of the time, and then I'm like, great, I'm gonna have the inability to pass because the light's on. That's weird that the light wasn't on for it, but that there was a problem.
Yeah, I'm wondering because it is a 10-year-old car.
Oh, that's true.
11 years old now. I'm like, is the bulb for the check engine light just off? Is it busted?
I didn't even think about that, but that's absolutely a possibility. Like realistically.
Well, if it was a catalytic converter, it would fail the emissions test. So
that's what it is.
You plug the thing in.
Oh, Ember's right because it would actually result in the actual testing part is where it would come up. That would make sense. Okay.
So so my mother-in-law got the car. Unfortunately, she's by herself, so she got the car, drove it around for about 20 miles, took it back to the car place, picked up her car. Matt got me from work, we went to the car place. This was about 4:00. Then he grabbed my car, drove it around, and then went to go get the emissions tested while I drove his car home, took a nap, and then came to record.
That's ridiculous. Also, for those of you that are not watching us live right now, it is Miss Linda's birthday in this very moment that we are recording right now. So happy birthday to Linda.
Happy birthday.
Yay. So
that's not a birthday thing.
It's a lot of car shenanigans, and after we're done recording, I went. That was another thing I did on like Tuesday, was I went to the tag office or the tax office or whatever, and I was like, I can't get it online. I haven't received my my letter saying here's how you do your ticket, because I had moved, and so they hadn't recorded my new address. So they gave me the thing that was like, here's the number to go online to pay your tag. They'll mail it to you. So after we're done recording, I'm going to take that piece of paper and sit in front of my computer and pay my tag online. I'm done.
And drink heavily. I mean, an appropriate amount. I mean, oh my gosh. Yeah, car shenanigans are the worst. I've been dealing with it this week, and I will share that fun tale as well. Ember, what have you been up to this week? Hopefully happier things than car shenanigans.
I had dishwasher shenanigans.
Oh,
Nobody
God.
wants to hear all that crap.
Yeah, your house is though, but your house, it kills me.
It's always my house, right? Ugh. So I am catching up on comics, and this is something I'm going to bring back to the show. As far as, what have we been doing this geeky week? It's going to keep me more accountable so I can catch up. I have basically a full box at this point. Well, short box of stuff that I'm just behind on reading that I collect. And I picked up my comics this week and went, I could write this shit off if I talk about it on the show.
Technically.
That's true. That is factually very, very true legal advice. Well, not legal advice, but it sounds like
you should talk to your tax professional to confirm, but that may or may not be very true.
Well, it's like I had just filed, and with, the shows, I was like, ooh, what did I do this year? Okay, I got the Stream Deck, and I saved my receipts. I'm like, holy crap, the comics. So I'm really, really behind on Harley, but it did let me catch up on a couple of things. I was missing 2 issues from a while ago, and because I was collecting 3 different Harley titles at the time, I didn't catch it. So my LCBS Bev is going to get those for me, and luckily they're not jacked up in price yet. So I'm excited about that. And I was missing 2 issues of Harley's Little Black Book, which I love. I have talked about that before in the show, where it's like it was a mini series. And
I love when they do
it's
those.
her working with different heroes. Like the first one was like her and Wonder Woman, and there was like her and Power Girl. So it's really
I just want to read the one with her and Power Girl now.
And, oh my gosh. And she has to like change Power Girl's outfit for her, and
Of course she does.
Yeah. It's really sexy and cute. But I got these 2, and I was so excited, and I couldn't believe I missed them. And all right, I missed him because the guy got in a horrible car accident during that time. But now I have them, and one of them was DC Bombshells, which is like a time travel into World War II. And so not only all the DC Bombshells, but even in different outfits. And I'm so excited to share with Lindsay, who has been on the show. Like, I don't know if she's seen the particular Batwoman in that one, and I know she does a retro one already for her cosplays.
Trying to find my Wonder Woman bombshell because
Totally
she's around here somewhere.
And the other one, Superman one, and it was a Muhammad Ali tribute issue.
Okay.
It came out right around like Ali dying, and they have a boxing match.
Oh my gosh.
So that was cool. But the other thing I'm reading right now, which is fairly new, and people could easily catch up and grab these, and I am loving this. It's called Gunning for Hits. It's by Image. It's written by this guy, Rogvi. I'm trying to remember his first name. Jeff Rogvi. This guy was actually a music producer. He worked in the industry in the 80s. And so a lot of it is based on real life, behind the scenes, what the industry was like then. And there's one of the main characters, very loosely but obviously based on David Bowie, and Bowie is someone that he worked with. If you go listen to episode 29 of A Gal Walks Into a Comic Shop, they have an interview with Jeff where he talks about a lot of this. And that's what got me to pick up
Cool.
the first issue. And I really loved it. Now I'm picking up all of them, and all my musician friends, I'm like, you should read this. And in the back of every issue, he's got kind of a taking apart of what the realistic things that are in it about the industry. And so it's historically interesting to get that from someone who worked with the Ramones and people like that. And
Wow.
he's got a Spotify set up with appropriate tunes to go with these issues.
Huh.
Oh, great. So like a read-along playlist thing. That's great.
That's really
That's
clever.
clever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But he talks about, like in the breakdown in issue 3, about how what they try to inspire for sound but using images, and they don't want to be too forward with it because sounds evoke images in people's heads and
Yeah.
things they're trying to get close to. But I don't have Spotify.
I
And
have
I
Spotify, the
gotta
student
get that.
version. I love it. If you are
I
a
gotta grab it
student,
to at least listen to. Bob from Gal Walks Into a Comic Shop said he's liking that playlist even though he doesn't even like 80s music.
oh,
So
awesome.
Nice.
that's what I've been doing. I've been catching up on comics, and Rob and I started Love, Death, and Robots.
Yes,
And I know everyone in the world has already talked about it. I am loving it. Just been watching a couple of
I
nights.
haven't had a chance yet, but it is on my list, like at the top right now.
I think I've seen half of them so far.
I'm
Do you
afraid
have
that
a
when I
favorite so far,
start,
Ember?
I'm gonna get stuck.
Oh, it's really hard to pick a favorite. I think the hunting one so far.
Good Hunting. Good Hunting, I think, is my favorite too. That
I'm
one is.
really excited to watch. To
It
watch.
had the most original story so far. I agree
Mhm.
with Schwood that yes, it's tropey if you're really into sci-fi, but it's well done anyway. I've loved everyone. I also really liked Three Robots because is it 3?
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of like an anthropology nerd.
I've
And so
I've been
find
told.
myself thinking, like, thousands of years from now, when somebody is looking at this and they have no context, what would it be like? Like when I worked at Disney World, I thought, oh my God, what if I was digging up this place,
Oh,
right?
gosh.
And so that many, many years in the future, and it being like what the robots think happened to us was really cool. And then
Ancient
cat-
humans used to worship this mouse at a ritual every day.
exactly.
and a flying elephant. What?
Flying elephant.
I honestly, that episode in particular that you just mentioned, the Three Robots episode, I have personally received multiple messages from people that know me who are like, "You're gonna love this episode. You need to watch this show. Have you done it yet? Oh my god!" And that episode in
will.
particular. So I'm really excited to watch it as soon as I possibly can. I'm excited. Cool. Well, Bryce, what have you been up to? What kind of shenanigans and geekery?
Man, so things have been super busy the past couple of weeks. We've had a lot of video shoots and we had our South by Southwest thing
Yeah.
a few weeks ago. So it's been tough for me to, usually I try to fill my time playing games. The last thing I really got a chance to really spend a lot of time with was Hypnospace Outlaw. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
Nope.
No, not at all.
So this is like I mean, technically it's a point and click game.
Oh, okay.
But it's like it's like a sort of mystery sort of game, but it takes place in the near the end of 1999, and you're playing it in this web browser. And the idea is that you have signed up to be a moderator of this operating system called Hypnospace, using the HypnoS, and so.
I have
you know,
heard of this. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you get cases of like, hey, we hear that there's some inappropriate things on the Hypnospace. Can you find them? And then you have a little. It's like a special version where you can't communicate with anybody on this like internet type thing, but you get a little gavel button and you can you find the inappropriate content and you click it so you get like an e-judgment of whatever it is. It is a really cool thing. It's all presented in this form of like web pages, right? They've built this entire internet of personal web pages, hackers, musicians, people trying to sell services and stuff. It's like the tone is like it's going to be one of the most stylish games of the year, just because it
Interesting.
really perfectly captures that. Not GeoCities, right? Like I think when we think of like GeoCities aesthetic,
Yeah.
right, we think of something very bad looking, and a lot of the stuff in Hypnospace is meant to be like it's meant to like evoke that sort of feeling, but the engine that they're using to like build these web pages and do all these music, like all of the pages have auto playing music, but it sounds good, and but the way that they've set it up, it looks too nice. It looks too nice to be bad fake, the bad fake that they want it to kind of be. But I really recommend it if you like sort of investigation or mystery sorts of games.
Yeah.
It was like 6 hours, but there's like a ton of stuff I still haven't seen yet, and I wish it was longer. Just, I mean, I think it's the right length for the story that it wants to tell, because it tells a really cool sort of turn of the century sort of story. But but I want more. I wanted even more of it, and I keep finding little jewels. It even has a whole thing of like helping you try to. It gives you a motivation to suss out every web page at the end of the game. But that's a really cool thing. And other than that, like as far as like gaming and stuff, the only game I'm like really playing right now is there's a mobile game called Cooking Diary. It's Cooking Diary.
No,
And
you're not doing it. I'm afraid to download it because I'm gonna get addicted like I did to golf bat.
and here's the thing, you really will. It's and it's not I don't consider it a very like predatory sort of. It's a free to play game, and a lot of those games can be very predatory, right?
Yeah.
They take advantage of people who have who are inclined to spend money on digital or temporary goods. It generally is not like that, right? You get you only lose lives if you fail a stage. You rarely ever lose these stages. But what is interesting about it is that it is actually kind of a skill-based game. It feels like an evolution. If you guys ever played Diner Dash, sort of the
Yes.
classic,
Yeah.
it's a little like Diner Dash, except instead of like seating people and taking orders, it's just in the kitchen. You're just fulfilling orders for people, and every so often you like get a new restaurant, and so you sort of start over and get this new way of preparing things, and that's really cool. That's a really good way of like handling this idea and really stretching it out. The bad thing about it is, so you can like, you get tools, right? You get like, oh, I use deep fryers in this kitchen, so I can upgrade my deep fryer. The bad thing about it is that there are two currencies in the game, like a lot of free-to-play games have, right? You have coins, which are free currency, and then
Yep.
gems, which you earn for doing milestones or beating parts of the story. But not only do you not get enough gems to really even progress the story, right? Because if you're not keeping your stuff up to upgraded, you won't be fast enough to beat the levels and stuff. So they don't really give you enough gems, and you really need them. So I ended up spending $1 on like 100 gems, and am still having a very good time with it. And I will probably even see myself spending more money on this game. But that's kind of the one creepy sort of thing, That's kind of an economic imbalance of the game. I mean, I get it, right? You're trying to make money on these free to play games, but I think it's tough because I like the game, right? I think if this were a bad game or just a game I could take advantage of, kind of like Golf Battle, right? You can kind of take advantage of Golf Battle.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Then I would feel bad. Like I would feel bad if Golf Battle was like, no, you kind of need to give us some money, please. But I also like Food Diary, and so I think I might give it a little bit more money. So that's kind of the big things for me lately.
Yeah, super
or
fun.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just took a magical adventure to San Diego to visit Curly of Drunk Kids Gaming fame. I wasn't going to, but I was pretty much convinced that I needed to like take a few days, get away, and then I realized I hadn't been out of town since TwitchCon. And that is very unlike me. I'm like a once a month, at the very, very worst, once every 2 months. So that's like a lot of time not just getting out of town. So I went on a bus adventure. That's fun.
Nice.
That's a whole experience. Wow,
Was
buses.
it like a mega bus?
It was Flixbus, so it has, which is kind of like the Megabus. They are from the they're from the Europe, is what I basically just said.
From the
They are from the Europe,
The Europe land,
and they have
from
brought
the
it
Europe
to
land.
the America. But it's super cheap. You can get like round trip tickets for like $30. Now, granted, this was like 45 because I like had some particular time that I wanted to go.
Sure, but still.
Yeah, but still, I went to friggin' from Tucson to San Diego, and the great part is that it like I was able to get right where Curly lives, like at the mall is where it drops off, in front of a Pottery Barn. It was very exciting. And yeah, but that's an adventure because it was overnight, kind of both ways. Like at one point, I was at going there. I was in Vegas at the transit center for like an hour and a half, and that is a covered, safe, well-lit space with benches. So as you can imagine, when it's sprinkling outside, that's also where people go because it's well-lit, covered space with bathrooms and benches. It was literally like the size of like a post office, like waiting area, like where the lines are. Like that's the best. I don't know why that's the thing that comes to my head about size right now, but that's what I can think of. Maybe a smidge bigger. And there are 4 security guards. And I'm like, why are there 4? Oh, nope, I get it. And it's because everybody everybody who's traveling has luggage. And then you think, like, I was sitting next to this woman on a bench, and then she has luggage. And then I realized when she opened her suitcase and then got like a duffel bag, and then inside the duffel bag was a purse, which inside of it had her toiletry bag. And then she pulled the sandwich out of it. And then that was when I realized that she was not traveling. She was just enjoying the space, and then painted her nails, and then ate a sandwich in her bag within a bag within a bag. So it was a magical experience. No, the great thing is they have Wi-Fi on the bus, which is crazy, and outlets, so it's like super easy. I threw on some like old Naruto and like had weird fever dreams. It was weird, but it was a good time. Went to San Diego, saw the sun. I actually ended up getting more sun than I had prepared to get, so now I'm like a weird color. I'm like kind of like
we might call it tan.
Yeah, some people call it tan. I call it you're a white girl that got too much sun, and now your skin is confused. But no, it was really, really fun. It was good timing, too.
Some of us don't tan.
Yeah.
We just burn.
To be fair, I'm shocked. I think the only reason I did tan a little bit is because I got such a terrible burn in Belize last year that gave me that, like, base or whatever that people talk about.
Your skin was like, I remember this, bitch. I won't let it happen again.
I remember. I will say that while I was in San Diego, obviously had a very good time. I went to a cool used bookstore and ran around the Asian market and bought silly stuff. And I didn't bring it. Oh, man. I got a cup of noodles with Naruto characters on the front of it. That was the same price as regular cup of noodles, but I don't care because it has Naruto on it. It's delightful. It made me so happy. And this is so stupid that I've never eaten it before, but I had a Poke Bowl, which I'd never had before.
Oh, they're delicious.
And
they're amazing.
It's intimidating, though. If you don't know what to do, you're like, I don't know. I like all of these things, but I don't know which ones go together in a bowl. But it was good. It was really good.
What type of fish do you get? I've never had a poke bowl, but I know that they're a big deal.
Yeah.
What type of fish is it? Is it just like a
raw
salmon sort of thing, or
Yeah,
like exotic sort of fish?
So think of like the things that would normally be available for like sashimi. Like if you're having sashimi, it's kind of the same selection. It's no yellowtail. It's funny though because the place we were at was like literally like the Chipotle of poke bowl places. Kind of. It was like pick your base or pick your size, pick your base, pick your.
And all I can think is like Goldine, Magikarp.
No, don't eat
Oh, no.
Goldine. That's terrible.
There's a poke place that's like right near one of the Dragon Con hotels, and they totally leaned into that during Dragon Con. They were like, they had pictures of Pokemon posted up on the front of their like windows. They're like, come in for Pokeballs and walk your Pokemans and great.
I think I walked by that place and I just assumed it was a Pokemon store.
Yeah.
Like I think they leaned too far into it because we have those here. There's a mall not far away from me, and one of the stores in there definitely in the past couple years has like converted into just being Pokemon stuff, like
Oh my
plushes, games, animation stuff. Like
Oh.
yeah.
Like it was really good though. Like honestly, it was legitimately really delicious. And now there's a place here in town called Hokey Pokey, and I'm gonna go eat there because now I know what to do. And then of course I announced that, and Curly's like, "Of course, there's one named that. Of course."
That's a very good name.
And of course I go to like
You
Fuck
do the
King.
Hokey
Doesn't everybody
Pokey.
go to like those places? So in other nerdy news, I watched The Dragon Prince on Netflix with a sorry, I was forced to watch. I'm just kidding. It was really good. It's on Netflix. It is amazing. If you haven't watched it, it's animated, and I thought it was going to be too cheesy. It's not. It's kind of delightfully
No, I mean, it's
real and dark, and the
it's by
characters.
the same people
oh.
that did the
Avatar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Avatar
exactly.
personnel on
So
it.
I got literally like just a smidge into it, and I'm like, "That's Sokka. That's the person that did Sokka. I know it. And I'm just like trying to go on the internet, and I don't want to get any information. And I'm just trying to figure it out, because I love when good voice actors that they sound different for different roles, but yet you can still tell just because of the quality of how they deliver their roles. And it is incredible. It is so representational. It is insane. Like the head of the army or the head of the military is this very strong, powerful, badass chick who is deaf and uses sign language, and they don't translate the sign language. They don't give you subtitles, and I love that because it forces you to just experience it like you would. Now, I know a little bit of sign language, so it was even more interesting for me because I was kind of getting a little bit of what was being said, but still having that like, wow, okay, like these sisters are communicating and I don't actually know what they're saying, and it's kind of, I don't know. It was really, really cool. So I recommend watching it. I'm demanding another season. I hope that happens because otherwise I'll be really sad.
Season 2 just came out,
Yeah,
right?
it did. I thought it did.
It has
it did.
100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's
The thing
amazing.
that excited me about season 2, and I guess this was so contentious with season 1 that it kind of has become like a talking point about season 2, was that they changed up how they handled the frame rate stuff. Because season 1 is deliberately 12 frames per second, kind of to imitate animation. But I personally never think that translates well to 3D animation. This is like a 3D animated series. But with, I guess, the second season, they made the decision to do mixed frame rate, kind of like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, which is so good. I finally saw it. I'm such an idiot. Can't believe I finally. Oh.
And if you don't know what that is, it's where some parts of the screen will do 12 frames per second, but other parts will do 24 or a higher frame rate, so that it feels smoother. Like you can, if you've seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, it's that look. It's that like kind of comic booky look, but it doesn't feel stuttery. It doesn't feel like your processor is not fast enough to render the film.
Well, and here's what's really cool about it, and this is I could talk about it for way too long, but the one thing that really struck me about it is how they play. And again, this is where I'm going to get into my like modern lit major film analysis stuff. But the fact is, you have magical people and you have non-magical people, and in the magical, when you're dealing with the people that are not magical, it's all the shots are like something that you could accomplish with a camera, like in actuality, if it was real life. And then when you're dealing with like the magic using characters that come from the other part of the world, and it's a whole thing, there's all these fantastical shots, and it's just over the top, and it's really beautiful. And I think that is really interesting how they did that, and I was really very impressed. It's probably. I'm really excited. I did not think I would like it nearly as much as I did. But yeah, it's super good. Highly recommend. I also got through the main part of the game of Mario Odyssey finally. And it's
Oh my
unabashedly fun.
God.
It's so fun. Just play it. It's fun and silly. It's just, sometimes it's just nice to just play something that is just simple and fun but also weird.
Just go and hang out in New Dank City,
I go and I redo the festival 5 times. Don't judge me. And I make him dance every time. And I listen to her sing. And I love it. I love
Mario
Mayor.
Odyssey might be one of the best games of all time. I know the
Yeah.
year that it came out, it was like really overshadowed by Zelda, and I think
Oh, yeah.
Zelda Breath of the Wild is a good game, but Mario Odyssey is so like lovingly crafted and so
Yeah.
generous.
It's
you know?
amazing.
We will be talking about Odyssey in 5 years the way that we talk about Mario 64 in terms of being kind of a tone shift in the way that those games are presented and
I
the way
think
that
you're
they
right.
feel.
Oh,
I
100%.
agree.
It was, and I'm still playing because I'm still going back through and there's more to do. And I love when I can do that, but I can do it at my own pace now. And I can go back and visit old places. And it's just, it's so fun. So yeah, it's been a really busy, crazy week for me. But yay, I'm home. It's kind of normal, kind of. So in light of the time today, because we want to get some time to have a chit chat with Mr. Bryce Castillo. I know I'm gonna have to call you that every time. Like I feel like you need this official name, like the great and honorable Mr. Bryce Castillo of the
Please
internet.
don't. That's gonna make me feel more nervous.
No, don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. How can you be nervous? You have to
Pay
sit
no
next to
attention
like
the man behind the curtain, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
yeah, so we'll get a little bit more time. So we're gonna skip our geek grapevine this week. We'll pick up on some news next week. There wasn't really a whole lot of anything super shocking, but I'll nerd out on the one thing that I put in the news. We'll get to that next week. So join us then. But in the meantime, we do have you here, and super excited to dig in a little bit, get to know you. What I will start with by saying is that I have watched you kind of start from being like submitter of humorous, amazing content and things to like being there to support stuff and then now you're like next to people on all the things and it's really crazy.
It's a weird trajectory so if people don't know, so I write one of some of the stuff that I do full time kind of is split between I do some producing and editing on some YouTube channels as well as doing some production work on a bunch of podcasts. And one of them is currently called Night Attack. When I was in college, I think I was a sophomore in college. It was still an SFW show, and it's this Tuesday night live comedy show. And that's when I fell into the show. I found Twit, and as a part of that, I found an SFW show, and I really hooked into that. And so, that was really the thing that got me into podcasting and online stuff, because at the time Brian was also doing Scam School, and for me, where I was in my in sort of my point in life was, I was in school for this kind of like wishy-washy digital media major, and at the time, this was, only kind of as we were reaching the tipping point of like YouTube and online digital creation sort of becoming democratized with digital SLRs and digital recording hardware, becoming cheaper and easier to use, where I was kind of doing this major that at the time was a little like, I don't know exactly what I'm going to use this, this fine arts major where I'm doing video and I'm doing audio and I'm making music, but I'm also doing animation stuff. Where now in 2019, like that is a very prescient major. Like
every
I don't think
school
it's
is
much bigger.
making sure that they have a department that does that, and if they don't, they're developing one. And it's
right.
It's now it's like accepted, but then it definitely was not.
Right, because it could have been like the school I went to VCU has a film school.
Oh,
college,
I didn't know you went
like
to
as a film
VCU. I
college.
don't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
but that's not what I was in. And so if that was what I ended up being a part of, then I probably would have had a totally different trajectory. But in any case, so I'm in the middle of this major, and I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do, because I'm like the only person in this class of like 50 that is doing like a lot of audio stuff. Everyone wants to make music videos or fucking Cartoon Network shows. And so I found the podcasting stuff, and I really dived, headfirst into it. I remember one night, I had for some reason, there's a computer lab, and I had a kind of a later evening class, and I just remember, it was the NACA, it was the infamous NACA 2011 episode, which was just a very big live sort of thing. But I remember like starting to watch it in the computer lab, and just like staying there for hours watching it, because I didn't want to miss any of it, walking back to my apartment. And then in senior year, I actually started doing a daily podcast. I was so into podcasting that I had found someone on Google Plus at the time, when Google Plus was a big deal, someone who also wanted to do podcasting, and I said, I want to do podcasting and kind of use some of this audio editing stuff. So we did a 4 to 5 time a week podcast talking about news of the day. We would play games. We would come up with little games or stuff. We would one of the days of the week we would just like recommend stuff that we had been watching or hanging out with, and it was a lot of work, and it was a pain in the ass, because this was still this was 2011. Okay, so maybe some of the times on this is wrong, but this was 2020 or 2011, and so we were also trying to like stream it. And at the time, where do you stream it? So we did Justin TV, and there was no OBS. It was multicam. It was multicam. So instead of having like streaming, switching software, you had a program that would you would call someone, and you would take their webcam, and you would take your webcam, and this program would make it think that you had 2 webcams, and you could just spit that out to Justin.tv. And so we did that 4 to 5 times a week. For a couple months, for a while, but that is a very strenuous process. But you also get good at it. You also get good at understanding like timing, pacing, stuff like that.
So basically, you were minoring in podcast wizardry, is what you would say.
Basically, like
Right?
I was doing that, and the same year I was producing my first album. It was like a project I was able to work it in as a project for one of my classes, and I made this big like double album, and so it was kind of both of these weird things that didn't make money and are kind of a bad choice. And then once I got out of school, I found a job, a local city job, doing some of their communications work, and they ran a news station, a local channel. So I was doing like news packages and lectures and stuff there, filming them, producing them. And then after a couple of years of that, Brian was looking for a new editor. Brian Brushwood was looking for a new editor, and that's kind of how everything started. And so as I was here, I liked the podcasts, and I started helping out in them more, taking over different responsibilities, and to go from like really liking the show in 2010, 2011 to now being like a third host on the show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's I have like a complex about that trajectory, because I am always worried that someone's like, oh well, why do you get to be the guy on the show
and
now?
that's like the worry but that's that thing, you can't let yourself do that, right? Because you can't you can't let yourself.
Don't give in to the imposter syndrome.
Exactly.
Don't do that.
No,
well,
because
it's not even that.
totally
It's
earned.
a jealousy thing. I'm afraid of someone like hating the show because I'm a part of it. I think
Like I've been watching, and I really like admire your mad producing skills, like stuff on the fly that happens, and you grab it and you throw it in the show, and I'm like, oh my god, like I can't. That level of multitasking, because I've only been doing this a couple of years, and now I feel much better that you actually went to school and had jobs, and like, okay, of course you have all those skills. I need to get a grip. And I've watched you become a personality on Night Attack, where it was like you're the producer, you just kind of pop in now and again with, wait guys, here's the thing.
Like I said,
and
the
now
actual
you're like full-fledged
adult
host
on
and still doing all that tight
Yeah.
production. And your personality really is adding something to the show. Don't
thank
doubt
you.
that at all.
No, and
And
it's
now
and
Thank you.
I listened to Trending Lemon and I was like, oh, look at that, doing his thing. And I listened to one of the tech show, I can't remember the name, where you go through all the video editing. I'm like, that's way over my head, but I want to
Sure.
get where that is more useful to me.
Yeah, the bizarre briefing.
I was gonna say the bizarre
right?
briefing, exactly. Yeah, which I have listened to, and there's parts where I'm like, okay, cool.
It's
Oh nope.
it's a heavy show if you don't know a lot of tech stuff, unfortunately, and
But
it's
it's
also very
okay.
long. It's like 2 hours long once a month. That show is like Trending Lemon and the bizarre briefing are kind of diametric.
I was gonna
opposites
say
for
they're
me.
like the bookends of of what you do.
We're like, because the bizarre briefing is like a behind the scenes podcast. It's basically a staff meeting
Yeah,
where Brian
essentially.
doesn't show up. But it's super long. It's only once a month. We don't even like it's once a month, but it only kind of comes out when I get the chance to actually edit it and put it out. Where and so that's very insidery baseball and a lot of technical stuff. And Trending
have
Lemon is
to-
like the opposite. It's like it's every week. It's very highly edited, and it.
And where does the
it
name
is-
come from?
So I spent a lot of time debating the name because I had the idea for a really long time, and it turns out that there are a lot of podcasts with the titles of
Everything.
the podcast that you want to make.
Everything you ever wanted to make. I was doing a search yesterday for a project, and literally I spent 15 minutes being, I am creative. I can find something that doesn't already have, that hasn't already been used somewhere. And it's not true. Everybody has come up with every podcast name you've ever wanted, ever.
It
Right.
took I think a bottle of wine and a half for us to find Geek Grills that
I
night,
know.
but
It was true. Exactly.
And it's crazy that Geek Grills was still available.
Yeah, no, it was insane.
And so, originally, I knew I had the idea that I wanted to really focus on doing BuzzFeed quizzes and kind of deal with sort of weird trending stories and topics and even ways of reporting. And I knew that I wanted to do a couple of things with the title from the get-go. Was a lot of the stuff that I work on is very masculine and is very male oriented, right? Like Scam School and Scam Nation, I love them. We're trying to make them be very open to all people, but the audience for that is like 90% men. Night Attack is a very aggressive sort of name.
Oh, I know. We
Um,
make jokes about like the very rare diamond. We have some fun things we call it. When I would hang out on game night, when there's like more than like two of us ladies, we're like, "There's so many diamond vaginas around. What is going on?" And we're like, "We're gonna scissor our timbers," and like it's just there are really
And
just
a
not
woman,
many.
A woman came up with the Diamond Club
I
gang sign,
know.
Cowgirl Curtis.
Exactly.
So I wanted something that wouldn't feel super aggressive from the get-go, something that could kind of reflect kind of how poppy and airy all of these sorts of lifestyle culture sort of websites are. And the other thing was just that at the end of the day, as long as you put some thought into your name, and as long as the name itself like kind of works, there's really not a bad name,
No.
up until like the very last second, like when Trending Lemon first launched, people caught on to this, but originally it was going to be Trending Lemonade, and there were two issues that I had with that, which was one, Trending Lemonade was too
Lemonade.
long. It was too long to be a Twitter username. It was like one or two characters short, and I was like, oh fuck, if I can't get to Twitter. And the other thing was I spent a couple of hours taking some photos. I went and bought a jug of just some homemade lemonade, some pre-made lemonade at the grocery store. And so I was taking all of these like photos with like fluids and liquids and stuff. And so I showed I don't remember who I showed all these photos to. I showed it to someone, and you do color correction and you make the colors pop, you make the yellow really pop. And it was me showing it to him. He didn't even say anything. It was me showing it to him that I thought, oh, this looks like a urine.
I was gonna
This
say.
looks like a pee fetish photo shoot. This definitely does not look very good. So I don't use a lot of those photos, as you can tell. I think originally they were pink. I think originally they were going to be pink, which would have helped stem some of that.
Yeah.
But I think we just don't use a lot of those anymore. I should have got so now that it's trending lemon, I could go and buy some lemons.
Yeah.
Make it all.
And then
all
people
pin-
just think you have
Make
a
it all
fruit fetish.
Pinterest. Yeah, make it all Pinterest up in there. Just do like a nice fruit bowl
Yeah.
kind of thing.
You can have your sister shows, and it'll be great. It'll be trending grape, trending cherry, and
And so that was kind of how the name came about. It was sort of those abstract goals, and just knowing as long as it was kind of short, the kind of the worst thing that could have happened was like finding a name, like trying to talk myself into some big long name that felt right, which is like, no, I just need a name that works on itself.
yeah. I mean, there are times when you can pull that off. Like Tom Merritt's "Pretend I'm Dumb About Star Wars." Perfect example.
Sure.
He needs
or
that
even
whole
Daily Tech News Show.
Daily Tech News
Show
Show
is kind of that name.
Yeah, but it's
yeah.
right because for him. But honestly, like, I don't know. Would you listen to Comedy Tuesday? Chucklefuck McGillicuddy's Attacking the Night on Tuesday is probably a
Certainly
little long.
not if I had not heard the show before.
Certainly
right?
not.
Like, if I was new, I would not want to listen to that at all.
To be fair, if you're doing your first 5 to 10 minutes of Night Attack, it's pretty much just anytime I show it to somebody new, I actually use it as like sometimes as a test for somebody I want to continue to date. Like we get to that point where they have to pass like the Rick and Morty test, and then they have to pass the Night Attack test, and as things progress, you just continue to make sure that the person can get it. And the
Yeah.
barrier to entry on Night Attack is sometimes a little higher than some other things.
It can be pretty high. That was when I first started working on the show, because originally before I started doing a lot of the switching stuff, I was helping in the background with some producing stuff. So, trying to make sure that they had the pie in the sky dream that they would work with Google Docs and like have a doc for the shows. That lasted for about a month, and then they never used it. But I was doing that, and I was doing some. Oh, right. Infamously, I started helping them with their advertising because they started Night Attack with advertisers.
They never had any problems with ads either in the entire history of the show.
Well,
Or
and
previous
so,
shows.
Beyond the fact that they definitely
Satan
were.
doing ads, maybe not the best call.
Yeah, besides the fact that their previous show was supposed to be canceled because of how they handled ad reads.
Exactly.
Them going independent was kind of the opposite problem, was that they kept doing ad reads that they were not asked to do for a long time there. Squarespace and MailRoute had not asked them to continue doing ads and had never been invoiced for ads. So that was my first job of like creating invoices and trying to convince them. I had to convince Squarespace to pay us for these ads that they did not want. Thankfully, they agreed to a very reduced rate, but it was...
that is insane. Okay, now let me.
A brilliant tactic, though. We
No.
should try that. We should totally try that. Like for those
I don't
bras,
recommend it.
we want those bras to sponsor us so
It's
bad.
like no, you want. I mean, gosh, the one that we actually got close to doing something with was Talkspace, which I feel super good about because I've been a Talkspace user before. Like whenever my insurance changes and I need somebody to talk to, but like. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of like, you're like, no, we've been doing them already. So if you could
Right.
just pay us for that, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
And then after we resolved all that, very, very cordial, like, well, okay, we can kind of make that work. They didn't really, I don't know if you've noticed, not run a lot of ads lately. Which is honestly probably fine.
Well, and
right?
the great
Like,
thing is that when you have a community that's able to support on Patreon and,
Right.
it's with Twitch re-welcoming podcasters back to the fold, Because it used to always make me laugh whenever the instance on Twitch Scott Johnson would get banned for like a while, so that it wouldn't be on Twitch, and like that was my only route for watching it. He's like, he's talking about video games, and so he'd be like, this guy is podcasting, and it's like, oh my god, is this still the world we're in? And now some people don't know about all that mayhem, but with Twitch being open now to the point of having Night Attack on as a panel at TwitchCon,
That's right.
which was super cool. Some of us were there, and we were there with other people who were like, what even is all of this? And why is he giving out counterfeit money?
Even that panel, because that panel was pretty much just like an hour-long history lesson.
It was.
Of like,
what is Night Attack?
which I think is it's a very informative narrative, right? About the pros and cons of being a part of a network, the pros and cons of rolling your own solutions to things. But maybe I don't know. It was very good. I think that what they did was very good. But I also think it still represented some of the high barrier of entry to Night Attack.
Yeah, a little bit. But we still had a good time, and that's what's most important. Gosh. So I have to ask. So one of the things that you've always done on the show that has, honestly, it seems so. You come up with or find these games and like things to do or weird quizzes or the like would you rather bot or like the cat that like this cat is only what is it the cat's only on the internet or whatever for a while and then the one that would like draw like it would make you find all these crazy things.
Draw 2 pics. I think that was it. Draw 2 pics where you would draw line art. You would draw line art of something. And you'd hit a button, and it would take that line art and make it. It would use like machine learning to like generate a house or something.
Yeah, and so he was making the most mortifying, the most terrifying butthole cats you've ever seen in your life, are what I remember most. What was your like favorite one you've ever like? What are your more favorite ones? Because you've come up with some really crazy stuff.
I think the one I really like the most, which I hate that we can't do more often because it was tied to one very specific news story, was we did a game about a year ago called Which Brands Touch Teens? And it was Google had put out this brand analysis report that said like, oh, okay, here are brands and how much teens know about them and how much they like them. And so we were able to do kind of a either or comparative game of like, okay, which do teens know more, Burt's Bees or Vans, right? Like which one do they like more? And giving it to 2 30-something-year-olds is just very fun. And I also got to do little video bumpers and stuff for it, so that was something where I was able to spend some time on it and take a lot of pride. But a lot of times it's finding inspiration for those games is like, it really is. I mean, I make jokes that it's all about data, but that is what a lot of that stuff is like, what is that we just found someone, I think Dr. Arby in the Discord actually posted this. He found a link to this Ask Reddit thread of like, what is something assholes buy? And I don't think this was good enough for a full game.
I
but
have
I wanted
a list.
To make
I was like,
I wanted to make it a pre-show game, right? The idea of like, okay, so we have this thread. It's all user-generated stuff. It's all Reddit stuff. But what we could do, what you can do with something like that is like, okay, they'll give me an answer, and we'll search on the page, and we'll give them however many Reddit karma points that comment has. So, the number one I think was like Calvin peeing on brands sticker.
Oh,
I think that was the number one. So if you got that, you'd get like hundreds of points.
Or like truck nuts is the first thing that came to my head. Literally the first thing.
Yeah.
That's
flushable wipes is the first thing that came to my head.
Okay.
But
see, there's a lot
that's
of
like what
you get
strippers
something
buy, I guess.
The games are made up and the points don't matter.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of the fun thing, is that the points never matter, right? Like always at the end, you'll kind of
until they want to murder each other, and then it kind of matters.
But it's a lot of fun, and people can send in games. We have the email address that people can send in games to, and so that means that we've gotten a lot of interesting stuff that either I wasn't aware of or just I didn't have time to make stuff, in the week. But that's a really fun part of my job. I didn't even think, would be a part of it, and it's a fun, different way to flex my creativity, I guess.
Yeah, you actually created extra podcasts for me to watch in video form, which is the pre-show and after show, because now I can't just enjoy like Night Attack. It was about, I would say probably about, gosh, I want to say maybe about 2 years ago. I used to work shifts where I was at work until like 10 or 11, which worked out perfectly to being able to watch pre-show. And if I wasn't getting any calls or chats, I was watching Night Attack because I'm in a call center by myself, and it was like I had to watch the pre-show. I couldn't enjoy it because how could you not enjoy games where they're trying to predict what type of like horrible fire experience is going to happen with dumbasses taking flaming shots? I mean,
That's
nowhere
right, the
else on the
flaming
internet.
shot
That was
fails.
my favorite because I wanted to see a Knight Rider so bad, and I used to just be like, "This is gonna be a Knight Rider."
Yeah, and I don't know that was my idea. I think that was one of the guys' idea. I think we just watched one at some
Oh
point.
my god, I know.
And yeah, you would show them a little bit of a flaming shot fail, right? People would set a shot
You'd
on
get the
fire.
start right.
Yeah, and before anyone got caught on fire, and so they would bet on like what type of horrible
There you had the
accident would
Mrs.
happen.
Doubtfire, which is the like the chest, right? And then you had the Dulcim, which was that the
That's
the hand?
hands.
yeah,
I
the
think
hands was
catch
the
on
Dulcim.
fire.
And then there was like I can't remember what the fire beard was, but like when the
Oh,
beard.
Bluebeard.
Bluebeard, that's
yeah.
right.
If
Bluebeard. And then when the
That's
whole
right.
head went, that was like the Punisher maybe or something. I can't remember.
That was the Ghost Rider.
The Ghost Rider.
That
Okay,
was
see,
the
they're
Ghost Rider,
close
of
enough. It was
And
ridiculous.
so yeah, it's we haven't done those in a while because we
You
we
run
saw
out.
all of them.
You run out.
We saw them all.
But then we started with the news fails, and it was so funny because I was watching live the time that we were doing news fails, and it was kind of the same thing. You would get to like where it was about to go off the rails, and you didn't know why, and the guys had to try to guess. Okay, what happens? It's like, oh, she says a cuss word, or oh, he falls over, or whatever. And then is it too early to buy a fish sandwich comes on, and all of us who are the morning stream fans who have heard that clip a million times
right?
are like, we know this one. Oh my god, we're in the chat like going friggin' nuts because we all know. We're like, fish sandwich, and Justin's like, I have no idea what any of this means, because yeah, this guy goes to the drive-through while doing his news.
While
News
doing the
reporting,
podcast.
and he rolls into the drive-thru and he goes, "Is it too early to get a fish sandwich?" And we're
It's like, what morning stream don't you hear that clip on now? Like, it's
Right.
been so long.
exactly. Oh man, gosh.
Yeah, it's good. It shows up on Night Attack, and it's like, oh, we're gonna get some steak in our Skittles this
Yeah,
time.
basically, and steak nuggets like that. I will never forget. You can't treat
Oh,
steak like a
man.
I
chicken
love that
breast,
about the
and you
community,
can't
like
go to
Diamond
dance.
Club and Frog Pants and those little crossover things. It's like these little treasures of.
Yes.
I know that. Like when I was helping Mike TV, his most recent version of the song about the crossroads and the devil, and trying to like make a sandwich for him, and I added at some point we were trying to get something to rhyme, and I did this thing. It was like, and don't forget the nugs.
Yeah, and of
And like
course,
everybody in Mike's chat was like, nugs, and it ended up in the song.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
oh, I love it.
Yeah, all the community stuff is great. We're so much of what we do, especially with the video and YouTube stuff. A lot of what we focus on doing is making stuff, right? Like what we like to do is we make videos every week, we make podcasts every week, and that's great. But that's only one part of the recipe. Like the other part is like building your community and being a part of your community, as well as being a part of the larger community that you're involved in. So community podcasters, community of YouTubers, and that's stuff that we still don't quite have the manpower to really dive into yet. Like we recently rebranded the Scam School channel on YouTube, and we're trying to do a lot of community stuff for our own community, right? We've got a Discord, we still have the YouTube comments and stuff. We've got a Facebook, we've got a Twitter now, but that doesn't go very far if you're not engaging with or keeping tabs on the greater Magic community, right?
Right.
And that's that's something I don't have the time or like the organic, inclination to
Yeah.
do. I really don't do that on my own personal time, so
It's hard.
it's
There's
tough.
too much to do.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I have too many things to listen to, so many things to enjoy, and that's why we all kind of have our little corners. I joke about being like the drunk A move diamond pants. Like, that's the community I'm a part of, and those are the avenues, the branches that I'm in, And other
Yeah.
people, they'll have their own variations of that. But yeah, it's the community building, I think, has become such a big part of the actual medium and the content creation, which is it's cool. We're in a cool place right now with that, I think.
I wanted to ask
Yeah.
Bryce, do you feel like YouTube is taking a dive?
I mean, there certainly have been multiple multiple times in the past 12 months where I've thought, oh yeah, YouTube will probably be gone in the next 10 years.
It really is
Because
starting to
it
feel
doesn't
that way
have
to
live
me.
chat. The live chat makes people feel like they can't be involved, and they're like separated from the content, and they don't like that feeling. The one thing I will say is that new YouTube videos are alive and well in the drag community. Man, there are so many beautiful, wonderful, hilarious videos, and that's honestly at this point, that's the only like new content YouTube videos that I really enjoy because they're like creative and fun and something you haven't seen before, or I don't know, I kind of agree with you.
I think a lot of YouTube's weaknesses right now, if I can kind of dive into this, is right now it's YouTube wanting to be everything, right? YouTube, which is a very good place to post videos you've produced and to post them so that they exist on a website. I think it is, feature for feature, one of the best ones out there. It is free. They have a very low bar to hit before you hit unlimited lengths of videos. You already get unlimited amounts of videos. They have tagging stuff. They have some community stuff. But it's as they've like tried to duct tape more stuff onto YouTube. The YouTube Live stuff, which has its own benefits, but is also an ancillary part of YouTube. YouTube Gaming, which is a different user interface and is okay if you're looking for certain types of things, but if you're not looking for certain types of things, then that's a very, very weird website. Now they're finally doing something which I think is actually really beneficial, is like YouTube, what are they called? YouTube sponsor, right? Which is similar to Twitch Partner, but YouTube Partner is a different thing.
Right.
It's YouTube Sponsor, so someone can join your YouTube sponsor or whatever for $5 a month or something. And so you have some community elements, right? You can post text posts and photo posts and video posts, but also none of those things work on.
Back to what is something assholes buy right there.
But it's a lot of YouTube either trying to play catch up in a space that's already behind in and not really innovating in, or just kind of ignoring their best stuff. There's a joke. YouTube is also doing like original content, which everyone is doing right now. There's a joke on one of their series in the trailer for one of their series that I saw the other day that was like, "Oh, so you're a YouTube guy? Well, YouTube Premium. Well, I don't know what that is. Well, you pay more and less people watch it." And I think is really it's Google trying to do everything with YouTube, and they still have real issues with the gem, the core jewel of YouTube. That's like the bad stuff is starting to get into that between.
Yeah.
I mean, any
like Google,
hey,
stay
take
in your
it
lane, man.
right, and you don't want to. You can't. No company's ever going to do that, right? No company worth $1 trillion is ever going to stay in their lane. They're going to try to do everything.
Yeah, but if you're not going to do it well, that's kind of man. They just aren't.
In 10 years, though, right? Like, if you look at, like, think about 15 years ago when, like, kind of on the cusp of sort of the Reddit sort of takeover of social aggregation, right? Before then, image uploading was the most cumbersome thing, right? You had Flickr and YFrog and Twimage and all of these awful services that
And
suck.
finally, Imager existed, and we all moved on with our lives.
Right. A guy on Reddit was like, "Oh, I can just make Imager," and then he did it.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to it's hard if you weren't there. Remember that Imager is literally just someone being like, "Oh, I could do this for nothing," and
Right.
as bandwidth improves, as data storage and processing improves, we are not very far away from someone being able to overtake YouTube in the thing that we all really wish YouTube would just focus on.
I just saw today like a post, I think it was originally from like Tumblr, where they're talking about how a couple of like people who got spited by some big company basically made their own and like changed the world out of spite. So somebody is going to get really pissed off at YouTube and just make something better because they can.
Well, all I use YouTube for, other than watching drag queens do silly things, is literally to upload videos that I want to share to someone else. Period. The end. Like, that's it. That's what it does for
Well,
me.
my husband's band is talking about, they're all worried about their YouTube channel and getting to a certain point so they can use it and get the imprint and get improved so you can use it on their website and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no one's going, like, make a good video and worry about it then. Because then people worry about people finding it on Spotify and, iTunes and everywhere else and pass it around. And then those people will say, when they want to show your band to someone, they can go to YouTube and they will look for it. People aren't going there looking for new music. Don't worry.
Even though
about it until
YouTube
you put
tried.
a well-produced video.
They tried
Right.
with the
I mean-
YouTube music.
Yeah. Oh God, don't even get me
They
started
still
on
try.
music and YouTube. Okay, here's the thing that definitely happened in the past 12 months. Unilaterally, YouTube just decided, hey, if you're a musician, we're gonna and you are kind of dealing with the lattice work structure that we had to make, where you can have your own personal account and your separate Vivo account, and then a separate account we made for your YouTube music. We're just gonna make those all the same thing now. And I know anytime I've tried to go into a music artist, like an artist's channel, it is the most confusing fucking thing.
It is.
because you
It is a
have-
world you don't want to be in.
You have uploads and music videos and music,
Yeah.
and none of them are right.
I hope they're going to fix it. I really
They
do.
won't.
As I'm telling my
They
husband,
will.
like, don't do anything there yet. Worry about Spotify is playing you with rap for some fucking reason first.
Yeah, worry about that,
Get your
definitely.
category right, then worry about whatever YouTube's gonna settle into, because it's a mess.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
absolutely a
Well,
mess.
Video and social is a very different place for bands and musicians now than it was.
Yeah. Where
Even a
it
couple
was
years ago.
very straightforward. Like Steve Howard Giraffe, that's a great example of like a band. Their music videos, they have a community, they got their silver play button, whatever, and everybody goes there and watches all their stuff, and it's all fantastic. But like that world just isn't that's just not that world anymore. Man, well, gosh, this has been awesome. This is really fun. I've learned some new things. Like I didn't
Good.
like.
Oh, my husband was so jealous when I told him we were interviewing you. Because he was like, I met him at Dragon Con like 2 years ago. I want.
Oh, well, tell him I say hi.
I will.
Yes, Linda's husband pops up in the Diamond Club communities, the Diamond Club
Yeah,
Discord sometimes for sure. I've seen.
He has his own thing. It's called Polyhedron. He talks about role playing games and and the like.
Nice.
And we
Very cool.
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody, you can chime in to any of our conversations. You can email us at geekgrills@gmail.com. Give us a ring at 508-474-5577. And you can always tweet to us at Geek Grills. So, Grills and now honorary grill friend, what are you most anticipating right now? Linda, what's on deck for you?
This Saturday, because like half of my family was born in March, we're having a big family.
You have the
like,
problem we
birthday
have in December.
celebration. Yeah. So we're all getting like together. Both sides of the family are gonna have like a party, and it's at my grandparents' house, so it's gonna be the family low key party, but there'll be cake, so it'll be fun.
As long as
And
there's
I'm
cake.
probably gonna get. This is gonna sound really terrible and shallow, but I'm probably gonna get money. So yay!
Hey, nothing
Hey.
wrong with that.
Yay.
That's the world we're in right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, payday's tomorrow.
And
Me
then
too.
I'll probably talk about it next week because it's going to be actually that weekend. But I've got my after the end LARP 2 weeks from now. That's the one I'm getting geared up for with the new character. So yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Ember, what are you up to coming soon?
I'm all distracted. I wanted the grilling.
I know.
Damn it. So I'll be making more stuff. Jewelry. I've been making a whole bunch. The coffee lodge is going to open in a couple of weeks, and I set up a vendor space, which makes me happy. And the art crawl is coming up. And even though the local snobs won't let me be in the art crawl anymore because I don't make my own beads,
What?
my friends who own the brewery, yeah, are gonna let me set up there. Yeah, like you can make Sculpey beads in hemp, right? And be in the art crawl, but this, stuff that I create is not fucking artsy enough for them anymore. But that's okay, because people know me downtown, and so I'll just set up a table at the brewery and not pay their goddamn $20.
You got better friends who make beer for you. So there.
Right.
That's
and
true.
they already have an artist that's in the program, but I'll just throw shit on a table and sell it, and that's fine. I'm also trying to commit some time to getting better at a lot of little production things, especially with sound, because of
It's
like
complicated.
it took a year to produce the Peculiars album.
Yeah.
And that wasn't okay. And I've been seeing a lot of stuff. I'm like, I think I want to just actually take a couple classes so they can't
Do it.
continue to say I don't know what I'm doing when I can drop in on their board and fix their EQ and they sound fine
There's
and can hear
so many.
themselves.
Oh my gosh, so many ways to get classes like that done too, like on the internet. Sometimes for free, sometimes for a nominal fee, but you totally can find.
And committing the time to do it. And stuff with the podcasting too, like struggling with dumb shit like getting my RSS is broken for a show for heresy and hearsay.
Oh, oh no.
Fix it, and it won't let me resubmit it because it's already submitted. I'm like, what the fuck? So I really have to commit some actual time this week to fixing stuff and getting better at stuff.
Cool.
It's my goal this week.
Awesome. Well, Bryce, what are you up to in the near future?
We're coming off of a super busy season, so thankfully I'm excited to get back into doing more just more editing stuff and less crazy event managing stuff. Trending Lemon is going on every week, and so that is always like a big that's an interview sort of semi-interview sort of show, so I need to have guests on every week. And that's kind of my thing right now is like just keep booking people on the show and keep that float afloat so that just for myself, not even there's no Patreon for it because I could not keep myself accountable for that. That's kind of the big thing right now. I also now have to figure out audio issues. I just found I just recorded an episode yesterday, and we finished and we had a really great time. And my audio recorder here on the computer was like, "Oh yeah, no, I stopped like 7 minutes ago."
Oh no!
Right?
And it's like
worst.
the issue. I don't know what issue it was, or I think I know what the issue was, but it was something that was demonstrably not an issue.
Oh gosh.
For the past 3 months. So
it's like, how does that happen?
How? So I'm gonna have to figure out alternative stuff for that, and and then apparently do 7 minutes of ADR on this fucking podcast that they don't have it's just my side, right? Like thankfully I record everything just separately, so I just have to re-record my stuff and I can edit it down to fit into that. But
That's
That'll
still
kind of be
a lot of work.
Awkward, time consuming.
That is still work. So much work.
Yeah. And then
Um,
hopefully,
wow.
hopefully, maybe play some games soon.
Yeah, you coming off a busy season? Go have some fun.
Yeah.
Play some cooking games on your cell phone that I'm now gonna download and get in trouble for because I'm gonna play too much of it because it's super good. Bryce recommended another game to me a while back, which is Golf Battle, which I think I mentioned on the show when I was playing it because I got super into it. The man friend got super into it. And it's such a silly, delightful cell phone game. So I'm sure I will like this one just as much. So I am hoping to do another Undertale stream because apparently I'm moving at a snail's pace and Curly is going to tolerate that. So hopefully on Saturday we'll go a little further through Undertale, which I have never played before. So this has been an adventure, and I killed my mother figure and I'm very upset about it. So it's good. It's a good time. And I'm hoping to go see Us. Like, I'm really trying to make that happen. I really want to see it. It's gotten high praise from everybody whose opinions about movies I respect. So I'm excited to go try to make that happen.
Shazam. Shazam is my movie priority.
Shazam, I've heard Shazam is supposed to be good too.
You don't need to see that. We're in the movie draft, and Shazam is on a different team. So if you could focus heavily on... No. Go see all the movies. All the movies are good.
I'm old. I grew up with like the Shazam TV show, so I am super psyched for it.
Oh man. All right.
So
Ember.
remember, folks, you can always come watch us record live at twitch.tv/geekgrills on Tuesday evenings. Normally, our next one will be on April 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
I believe.
We
The
think
time
so.
might shift. We're still adjusting to Arizona at this point.
Yeah, Arizona moved time zone, so now it's the 6 months where I don't remember what time it is anywhere on the planet. And also with my work, lack of work, weird work, stuff and things. We'll figure it out. We'll put it on Twitter. Look for that. But yeah, normally Tuesday evenings, twitch.tv/geekgirls. Normally, 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern, right? Is that the right time?
Normally, yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, just remember, everyone, in addition to the subs and bits that we do get here right here on Twitch, we are supported by our amazing patrons, the greatest girlfriends on the internet. You can become a patron right now at patreon.com/grills. And don't forget, if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you can get your Twitch subscription. You get one subscription to give away for free every month. Give us their money. Do it. It's great.
Yes.
They don't need it. We need it. So do that.
Also, something else you can do for free is you can leave us a review on any of your podcast catchers. They'll help our ranking, which can help other people find us, which is great. Also, you can join our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter and help us spread the word there.
Oh, boy. So, on the internet, where can we find you, Linda?
You can also listen to me talk about women in gaming on the Glitter Dice podcast, and you can find me on Twitch under the name True Noob. That's TRUN00B. That's where I'm going to attempt to get back into doing my crochet, my cosplay Twitch streams. I've just been off my game a little bit for the past couple of weeks. New job, so.
But we're so excited because the Sailor Saturn
was the last one,
was so good and so fun to watch. So I'm excited to get to watch more cosplay crochet. It's super cool.
It is so neat.
Ember, where can everybody find you?
I can be found at 9of12. That's NINEOF12 on Twitter and Twitch, and on the Heresy and Hearsay and Trust Your Cape podcasts.
And Bryce, where can everybody find you?
Awesome. You can find me on Twitter at Brycas, BRYCAS, and check out my social news and quiz podcast, Trending Lemon, at trendinglemon.com, or just any podcast directory. We're even on Spotify.
Ooh, fancy.
Ooh.
Thanks again. It's been really awesome having you on. So we're super stoked you got to make it happen.
Of course, anytime.
And we'll have to have you on again so we can grill you because we didn't have time to grill you today. So we'll have to
sure.
we'll have to work on that next time.
Absolutely.
And you can find me at The Jen Says on Twitter, streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/TheJenPlays. And you can find everything I do at thejensays.com because I own the shit out of that domain. And thanks for listening, everyone. Good game.
Good game.
GG.
GG.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Indeed we do. Indeed we do. I remembered to play it without Ember staring at me with the mom face this time. I did it.
Going like, "Ooh, come on, come on.
Is she gonna find it on the stream deck? It's there somewhere, I promise. So we've got some titles to pick, and then I've got to jet pretty quick. So let's also pick somebody for us to riggedy raid. So
Mike's on. He's freaking always on.
Mike is always on when we raid.
So we've got the melatonin protectorate. Don't eat the podcast
thanks, Chris.
wizardry. I
Sorry.
forgot I couldn't see it behind my camera. Don't eat the magic carp. The wizard behind the night attack curtain. Diamond Vagina Club.
Also known as Scissor Me Timbers, and I've trademarked that, so don't try to steal it.
Fluid. Where'd it go? It
Fluid.
moved.
Oh, fluid
Fuck
photography.
Tuesdays.
Fluid photography. Yeah, Chocolate Tuesdays. And what is something assholes buy? Oh, and the Bryce trajectory. I think you said that, but anyway.
Oh God, I think. Don't eat the Magikarp. I feel like Chuckle Fuck Tuesdays has been like the title of multiple episodes elsewhere or something. We've had a lot of No Taco Tuesdays. We had a lot of those.
Yeah.
I kind of like podcast wizardry. I'm partial to it, even though I put it in. It's not just because I put it in. It's because I like it. Oh my gosh, the sound. I apologize. Internet shove sound in your ear holes. Yeah, if you're hanging out with somebody like on Discord and you forget that you were doing a show recently and your mic is spitting your TV watching and it's not what you want people to know that you're watching. Super great.
I really like the Diamond Vagina Club.
I do too, but I really feel like it would be confusing to be like Geek Girls episode 128, the Diamond Vagina, the Diamond Vagina Club with Bryce Castillo.
Such a girlfriend.
welcome to being a girlfriend. Oh my gosh. It's not terrible. I could noodle that. I could consider it.
I don't know.
Oh man, who? Yeah, Mike is on. Dills is on.
Who else voted? Anybody voting?
Other people
We
vote.
have to decide.
Push buttons.
I got votes in.
Podcast wizardry. Is that what we're gonna go with? Or the wizard
think...
behind the night attack curtain?
I kind of like podcast wizardry with Bryce Castillo. That sounds like a. I wanted to put Neshcom as bestcom because that's my favorite thing to type, but that doesn't, that's just for me. I used to spam that all the time because it used to crack me up the most.
It's not in the list.
I know. I didn't put it in because that's a personal.
Okay.
Jen won't actually do that.
All right, we'll go with podcast wizardry with Bryce.
Boom.
And I will put Trending Lemon and Neshcom and stuff in our show notes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Brightcast is the one you want to use for the Twitter.
Yeah, I'll use that.
Perfect. And we put it up to our patrons pretty much immediately, and then it'll go live. Ember, I know it's a little shaken up because we're on Thursday. So what do you think? Friday,
Thanks,
Saturday?
Grizz.
Probably Friday,
Sure.
Saturday
Yeah.
for publishing.
Feel free to tweet me once it goes public, and I'll be sure to give it a
The
little boost.
old wheat tree.
Yay.
Gonna raid Dills?
We can raid Dills, or yeah, let's raid Dills. We haven't raided Dills in a while. So let's raid Dills, and was gonna try to put the command in, but then I remembered last time that didn't work. So we're gonna go raid Dills.
I'm logged in as.
Go spam him with Geek Girls have podcast wizardry. Let's do that.
I don't know, my Twitch is being weird. Why is don't be weird, Twitch.
So there you go. If you don't know Willie Dills, you should give him a follow. Follows are super free. Yeah, thanks for hanging out live, y'all. Super fun.
thank you guys.
And yeah, it was really, really super fun to get you on. I am excited that we finally got to make it happen. Everybody's so busy. We're all so busy, and shenanigans. Oh, now we're gone. We're gone from the internet forever.
Gone.
No. All right, rock on. I'm gonna
Awesome.
upload the recording to you September. I will also